as we already all know, Ryan Garcia has been calling out Gervonta Tank Davis for quite a while, man. Um, and a lot of it, has been ramping up since like when it got closer to his fight with Lil Campbell. He's been more vocal about it. So after he beat Luke Campbell Saturday night, or Saturday evening rather, you know, Canelo Alvarez, which is Ryan Garcia's mentor, is like his big brother. He says that he believes that Ryan Garcia needs a couple more fights first before he steps in the ring with Tank Davis. And I just want to know what you guys think. Do you think that Canelo Canelo may be right, or do you think Ryan Garcia is ready to go in there now, take on Tank? Now, I'm just gonna give my opinion on it. I think that Ryan Garcia beats Tank Davis, man. I just do. It's just something about it. I got that feeling for some reason, but I don't think right now. That's the thing with me. You know, watching his past fights before he fought Luke Campbell, I said, okay, that's lower competition, man. I said that this is boxing, man. You got levels. You got lower tier fighters, mid tier, higher tier, and you got the elites. That's how I classify them. And most, if not all, of Ryan Garcia's previous opponents, they've been low tier. No mid tiers, man. I consider Luke Campbell a mid tier fighter. I don't consider him higher tier or definitely not elite. That's just my observation of Luke Campbell. Um, and I say that to say this: Canelo is absolutely right. I would say about give Ryan. I think that Tank Davis fight, man, Ryan has a much better chance of beating Tank probably towards the end of the year. Like give him or the beginning. I would say 22, maybe 2022 beginning. I would say maybe, or I wouldn't even say. Would I say two more fights? Maybe one more. Maybe one or two. Maybe two more. Maybe two more fights, man. Because if anything, Luke Campbell did, even if he didn't win, was expose certain things about Ryan Garcia. Now I'm gonna make a video about this exposed thing. I'm gonna because I talked about it I think a while ago, but I'm gonna get a little bit more into it because this exposed thing is thrown around a lot in boxing, and I think that word gets used the way people throw the word love around. It's just like okay, just throw exposed around. Every time somebody lose a fight or they get punched or something like that, they've been exposed, and that's not the case, man. Now, when people say that exposure, they were talking about generally exposed, but they don't like specifically say a certain area of a boxer's um, skill set has been exposed. That's different, and I think that's what happened with Ryan Garcia Saturday night. There's some things that he needs to fix, and I've said this before the Luke Campbell fight. Everybody already know he's infamous for not tucking his chin. He's staying straight up. That might not be fixable though, man. Some boxers are just the way they are. Like you can't correct certain things on some boxers, man. The only thing you could do, I think, is if it's something that is a habit that is hard for them to break, or it's like it's programmed in them already, is to try to make adjustments or try to tweak it and try to work around it and try to strengthen that flaw to make it a little bit more less flawable, so to say, right? It's like Deontay Wilder. Everybody says, "Hey man, he don't have no boxing skills." He really he's not a boxer like that. He's just known, he's one of those anomalies, man. He has that freakish power in that right hand, and everybody always knocking him for not being able to box. And it would be nice if he had a little bit more boxing skills, because it'll help him. It would help him further more. But he's been knocking out mostly lower tier and maybe some mid tier fighters, but I'm not gonna get into the whole Tyson Fury glove shit. I'm not gonna touch on that. But up until Tyson Fury, man, he was icing everybody, man. And Tyson Fury is in my opinion, I would call him definitely an elite fighter, if not higher tier, going into an elite fighter. And Deontay Wilder had some issues in there, and people say he needs to go retrain with different trainers and add some skill set. But what if he can't? What if that's just the way he is, and you can't change that? All you can do is work with what he has and what he is. That's it. Some boxers are who they are, and that might be the case with Ryan Garcia. He's used to fighting that way. Yes, he's tall. He likes to fight with his head. Maybe that's the way he feels comfortable fighting. Maybe that's the way he's been fighting since he learned how to box. And now he's 22 years old. So it's gonna take a while to break that. And unfortunately, that and then dropping the hands at the wrong times. His defense needs to be worked on. His foot placement. He had his lead foot on the outside of a southpaw foot, and that's a no-no. So all those things have to be corrected or at least worked on. Definitely, he has the power, he has the speed. He just got to work on the defense and the foot, a little bit better footwork and his stance almost. But like I said, will that change in two fights? If before a Tank Davis fight, it might improve, it might sharpen up on it a little bit. But like I said, when sometimes when you'll follow all of this shit, in sparring or training, but then when you get in the fight, the actual fight, sometimes you forget all that shit. You just go back to doing what you already know how to do. And I agree with a lot of people, man. If he fights Tank like that, he might end up, if his chin can take it, and that's a whole other thing. His chin was tested Saturday night with a pretty, people call Luke Campbell a pretty decent power puncher, not a heavy-handed puncher. And everybody's saying, well, if that was Tank Davis that had hit him like that, he would have went to sleep. We don't know that. We don't know that, man, because you got to think. We don't know that. We seen Tank go 12 rounds. How many times did he drop Gamboa? Gamboa got up about 3 times. Well, a few more. I got to go back and watch. I don't remember how many times he got knocked down in that fight. And he got back up. Maybe Gamboa was more solid than Ryan Garcia. But Ryan Garcia also got back up. But, you know, you can use that as a measuring stick, but it's not set in stone yet. You don't know. You know, maybe if Tank hit him, he would have got knocked out. Maybe he wouldn't, because maybe in a way him fighting straight up might be a good thing for Ryan Garcia. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's the way that'll help him not get knocked out. Instead of crunching down like Leo Santa Cruz did. Maybe only thing is he needs to learn how to keep his hands up if you're gonna fight like that. Maybe that'll help him out. Who knows? Maybe the thing that we see as a flaw is actually a blessing for him if he work on adding some defense to it, better defense. So who knows, man? We can't say that he would have knocked Ryan Garcia out just because Tank Davis is a power puncher. When we seen other people get hit hard by Tank Davis, and it wasn't, all of them weren't just, oh, he just hit him once and then they was just out. See, that's the thing with boxing, man. What I'm starting to notice, like when okay, Tank Davis he knocked Leo Santa Cruz out the way he did. So now everybody got it already. They already had it in their mind before that fight that Tank Davis was a power puncher. That they thought he was a one punch knockout artist like Wilder, and he's not. So now when they see Leo Santa Cruz, which if you look back at that fight, he was cracking Leo Santa Cruz clean with a lot of fucking punches, and Leo didn't even drop. So then he just finally got Leo in that one position, and he was able to time him and put his lights out. Now all of a sudden, every time Tank, if Tank hit Ryan like that, Tank got hit by the way Luke hit Ryan, if that was Tank that hit Ryan like that, he would have flushed him and knocked him out and put him to sleep. You can't say that. You can't say that. I don't see what everybody else see when it comes to shit like that. I just don't. I don't see what everybody see, man. It's not gonna be like that with every fighter. I don't care how much power you got. Shit, Wilder, one or two of his fights went to the cards. You know what I'm saying? Not all of his fights ended in KOs either. I don't care if it was one, two. You're gonna have that one person, like Tyson. But all his fights weren't just all fucking knockouts. You know what I mean? Now, as of date, Edward Berlanga is the only one right now that's doing that. First round KOs off the rip. But that's gonna change. You know what I mean? And I see the same thing with him. Like, okay, let's say let's just a quick example. I'm kind of getting off topic a little bit, but I'm gonna jump back on topic. Just had to add this one little thing. Just, for instance, with Edward Berlanga, right? He's a power puncher. He's heavy-handed. If let's say, for example, Danny Jacobs. Let's say he gets punched by, let's say Amir Khan was at 160, 154, right? And he fought and punched Danny Jacobs. Let's say he actually hit Danny Jacobs, and Danny Jacobs got knocked down by Amir Khan and got back up. Everybody gonna say, damn, yo, if you see Amir Khan, yeah, he knocked Danny Jacobs down, he got back up. But if that was Edward Berlanga, he would have fucking knocked Danny Jacobs out and put him to sleep. You see what I mean? Because everybody's going off for all of the KOs. And that's not always gonna happen. Sooner or later, it's gonna be somebody that fights Edward Berlanga, and he's not gonna knock him out. That's just what it is. So you can't say that Tank Davis, if he would have hit him like the way Luke Campbell did, he would have totally knocked Ryan Garcia out. You can't say that, man. I don't agree. So, but I do agree that he needs some work before he fights Tank to minimize the chances of that happening to him. He needs some work, definitely. It's questionable if it's two more fights, because if it's two more, he already fought once this year. A lot of boxers back in the days, old school, man, they used to fight 5-6 times a year. Some boxers. Now, man, we get lucky if a boxer fight twice a year, maybe 3 times. So, shit. If he fought in January already, right? If say another fight, he got another fight coming up. Let's say the middle of the year, like Cinco de Mayo. Because most Mexican fighters, they always fight around May, you know what I mean? And then later on down the year, maybe they'll squeeze one more in, right? So you figure, okay, let's just say he just fought Luke Campbell, middle of the year, a light touch or something like that, a mid-level, a mid-tier fighter. Then let's say he fights Tank Davis the end of the year, or mid-level fighter, Tank Davis, beginning of 22, around the same time that he just fought Luke Campbell, January 22, right? It could go like that, or his next fight could be Tank, because this is, it's Leo saying it's Cinco de Mayo was in May, so they're gonna try to capitalize on that. I think the promoters, but Canelo is giving good advice, I believe, man. He's not ready to fight Tank yet. with doing the shit that he was doing. To minimize him getting knocked out or clipped the wrong way or hurt bad, he has to work on some things. And I don't see him in 2 fights. It's gonna take longer than 2 fights to get all of that shit down packed, if at all. So he might just have to fight Tank the way he is, and he just have to fix some things and tweak some things and hope that it sticks. That's how I see it, man. And if he does well and it sticks, I think he got a chance of beating him, man. You know, I'll get into that in the next video. I'm gonna compare, and I kind of touched on that on my fantasy series, but I'm gonna compare in one video how Ryan Garcia would do against Devin Haney and how he would do against Tank Davis. So stay tuned for that. Let me know what you think, man. This is Rebel Light Boxing. Like and subscribe and share. I'm gonna get at y'all later. Pow.